advent calendars, the
Ooh, those are
worldwide
sick,
Christian
I'm not gonna lie, but I
tradition
never-
of counting the days.
Alright, let's be real, okay? Do you think advent calendars, who actually eats one a day? Who actually does that? Honestly, what I would do is just wait for the last day and just eat them all. Or eat them all on the first day. Food theory. I haven't reacted to this in a while, alright? And I come back to chocolate is a lie. How the hell is chocolate lying to me? But you need to explain in depthly.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
I can't English. Please, I don't know how chocolate is lying to me, but matpat's gonna show me a way. But even these chocolate like messing with me, I'm still eating chocolate. I don't give a shit. It's too nice, alright. But without further ado, let's just get into the video, alright. 3, 2, 1, let's get it.
Santa! I made you this hot chocolate.
Why, thank you,
Just
little
kidding.
boy. Now, you're sure this is hot chocolate, right? Because hot cocoa isn't technically the same thing.
How do you know that?
Santa takes his chocolate terminology very seriously. So I need to know, was this made from cocoa
Okay,
powder, or
he's
did
gonna-
you actually melt down a chocolate bar?
I don't know.
Ah, coal, is it? What
Oh,
a
wow.
coincidence,
Oh my
because
God.
this year you're getting cold hard facts about chocolatiering. Enjoy your pamphlet.
about
Merry
getting cold.
Christmas.
That would have been evil. Another kind of evil.
Happy
Day.
holidays, Internet.
Yay.
Welcome to Food
Thank God it's Christmas.
Theory.
Almost
The show that
Christmas.
was skeptical that Santa's belly actually shakes like a bowl full of jelly, so we ran the numbers. Stop the lies, Santa. But bellies are definitely on my mind at the moment, my belly in particular. See, the holidays are here, and that means that I'm inundated with candy wherever I turn.
Facts,
Candy
bro. I've been eating
canes,
so much
peppermint
sugar.
bark, reindeer corn. You guys know reindeer corn, right? Keep
No.
running into people who've never heard of this thing. I swear, it's a thing and it tastes, well, it has a taste. And
never
last
heard
but
that in my
certainly
life.
not least, the holidays are filled with opportunities to consume chocolate. Or as my dad Pat alter ego likes to call them, chocolate-tunities. I mean, just check out this map of every state's favorite Christmas candy. It is chocolate from sea to shining sea. Reese's, M&M's, chocolate
M&M's good.
Santas,
Chocolate good as
Hershey's
well.
Kisses. Well, there are
That's
some
good
that
as
are
well.
concerning here too. I mean, come on, Arkansas, Starburst?
That's
and
so
Pez?
shit. I don't-
Pez, Louisiana? Really? All right, now that I think about it, the dispensers could actually make a solid festive choice, so I apologize to you, but no apologies to Starburst, Arkansas. And it's hardly as though
Starburst is-
holiday
it's so
chocolate
dead. I don't
consumption
know
is an
if I like
American thing either. From chocoladelette, or chocolate letter, the Dutch tradition of giving children their initials in the form of chocolate letters of the alphabet, to advent calendars, the
Ooh, those are
worldwide
sick, I'm
Christian
not gonna lie, but I
tradition
never-
of counting the days.
Alright, let's be real, okay? Do you think advent calendars, who actually eats one a day? Who actually does that? Honestly, what I would do is just wait for the last day and just eat them all. Or eat them all on the first day.
Till Christmas with stale, borderline edible candies. I mean, seriously, how long have those things been sitting in there? To Hanukkah
good 3
Gelt,
years.
the tradition of giving foil-wrapped chocolate coins. It is safe to say that the holiday
The
season
golden
and
coin
chocolate
maker.
go together like corn and reindeer. Just look at that map, people. 8 states have reindeer corn as their top pick. 8! Reindeer corn is a thing. I am not making this up. Anyway, with
Bro,
so
I
much
never knew
chocolate
that.
flowing through the holidays, 'tis the season for food theory to tell you it's all lies. That's right. Much of the so-called
How, though? Please
chocolate that
explain.
you're consuming is presenting itself in a fraudulent, very naughty list kind of way. Sure, that candy you're about to eat may look, feel, and taste
Like
like
shit?
chocolate, but that doesn't mean
Look
that
at you,
it
sick shit. It doesn't
is
taste like shit.
chocolate. Then what the heck is it, you ask?
The
Well,
imposter.
never fear, my friends. Today's episode will explain it all, and we're gonna show you how to spot fake chocolate, or mocklet, as
Like
I
a
like
fake
to call
chocolate,
it,
yeah.
before it
You
gets
catch it with your right
anywhere
hand.
close to your festive mouths. Now, before we dive into what chocolate isn't, we first have to establish
is?
what it is.
Facts.
Chocolate is derived from the fruit of the cacao tree, which grows in tropical regions near the equator. Now, if you were to bite into one of these puppies fresh off the tree, the experience would not be chocolatey. Heck, wouldn't even be pleasant. There are a number of steps that have to be taken in order to turn cacao into chocolate, including
Okay.
fermentation and roasting. Now, inside the cacao fruit are white cacao beans. Technically, they're the seeds of the fruit, but
White.
we call them beans. And inside these so-called beans are what are known as nibs. Roasted nibs
Nibs.
are ground and liquefied into chocolate mass, aka chocolate liquor, which despite the name is 100% alcohol-free. Chocolate liquor can then be divided into two separate products: cocoa butter, which is chiefly responsible for giving chocolate its texture, and cocoa solids, which get ground into cocoa powder and give chocolate its distinctive taste and brown color. Therefore, you should expect to find terms like chocolate liquor, cocoa butter, and cocoa powder included on the labels of legitimate chocolate products because, well, that is what chocolate is. However, the mere presence of these ingredients doesn't necessarily make a product chocolate. To earn that label, a product must contain enough of those ingredients. That's why the cacao percentage is often displayed on chocolate bars. This number indicates how much of your chocolate bar by weight is cocoa butter or cocoa solid. Basically, the higher the cacao percentage, the more chocolate is in your chocolate. The percentage can go all the way up to 100%, as is the case with many baking chocolates. Now, I should quickly mention that this number doesn't necessarily tell you the quality of the chocolate bar. Not all ingredients are created equally, and the chocolate making process can really impact the final product, but the number is the most standardized way of looking at all this. Okay, but how high does the cacao percentage need to be in order to be considered chocolate? Well, that all depends on your jurisdiction. 80%? Here in the US, the Food and Drug Administration sets the rules. As an example, in order to earn the label of milk chocolate here in the US, a product has to contain at least 10% chocolate mass, at least 3.39% milk fat, and at least 12% milk solids. Other countries naturally have their own guidelines, and frankly, a lot of them set the bar higher than the US does. For reference, in Britain, the chocolate mass requirement is 20%, double what the FDA requires. Way to set that bar low, America. USA, USA, low bar, low bar. In order to be called white chocolate, the FDA requires the product to have at least 20% cocoa butter, at least 14% total milk solids, and at least 3.5% milk fat, and it cannot consist of more than 55% nutritive carbohydrate sweetener. You'll notice that white chocolate actually has no cocoa powder requirement. The absence of the brown cocoa powder is actually what gives white chocolate its white coloring. Now, as many chocolate purists will tell you, when people talk about chocolate, they're not actually talking about milk chocolate or white chocolate. See, milk and white chocolates, by definition, contain lots of milk and sugar and other non-cocoa ingredients, and therefore tend to have lower cacao percentages and less street cred. I mean, we just got done talking about how at best they have like 10 to 20% cocoa in there. And when you're talking about 20% of the entire recipe, is it still really chocolate? Chocolate purists say no, and the FDA sees it the same way. If a product wishes to label itself as chocolate without using the word milk or white preceding it, it's gonna have to adhere to even stricter guidelines in order to do so. Dark chocolate is an example of a product that has to play by these rules. Now, the FDA's guidelines for labeling a product straight up chocolate are very long and very boring, but essentially it means no to artificial flavors and yes to natural flavors derived from cocoa sources. But as you can probably imagine, there are lots of commercially successful chocolate-like products out there that fall short of the FDA's stringent chocolate guidelines, and cost is the biggest reason why. Genuine cocoa beans can be pretty darn expensive, and companies tend not to like expensive things. So a lot of companies have tweaked their recipes in order to save them money. In doing so, they lose the right to label themselves as chocolate, but in order to hide that inconvenient truth from consumers, companies get creative, if not downright deceptive with their wording. For instance, in 2008, Hershey's whatchamacallit altered its recipe to use vegetable oil instead of the more expensive cocoa butter, and thereafter could no longer legally claim the candy contained milk chocolate. The wrapper now states that it is, quote, made with chocolate, which is a clever way of phrasing it in a way that's technically not untrue. Whatchamacallit does indeed have some cocoa in it, but the percentage is so low that it can't be a milk chocolate bar, let alone a chocolate bar. In fact, that same year, Hershey's also altered the recipes of other candies, including Mr. Goodbar, Take 5, and the now extinct Hershey's Kissables, which originally had milk chocolate in the corner of its packaging, but discreetly changed the phrasing to chocolate candy. And by the way, just to be clear, Hershey's didn't change the recipes to all of their candies. Their top sellers like Hershey's Milk Chocolate Bar, Reese's Candy, Kisses, and Kit Kat didn't get altered at all. But the point is, consumers have to be alert, or else they might get whatchamacallited with deceptive marketing. Words and phrases like chocolatey or chocolate flavored or made with chocolate are usually a good indication that the product doesn't contain enough genuine chocolate to fit the FDA guidelines. Big Candy certainly doesn't make it easy for you to tell the real chocolate products from the fakes, which is why today we're gonna play a quick game to help drill the concept home. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you you chocolate or mocklet. I'm gonna show you a product and you guess if it's chocolate based on the FDA regulations. First up, this drink. Starbucks' double chocolatey chip creme frappuccino. Chocolate or mocklet? The answer?
chocolate?
Mocklet.
Okay, I got it
Starbucks'
wrong.
double chocolatey chip creme frappuccino isn't just named that because it sounds cute. One look at the ingredients in this bad boy will tell you that there is no way Starbucks could legally call this a chocolate product.
Okay.
Next up, snow caps. Chocolate or mocklet? The answer, chocolate. That's right. Although
So
the word
fast. I haven't had time to
nonpareil
analyze the
might seem a
picture.
little suspect, that's just the name of the little white sprinkles on these actual chocolatey pieces. Chocolate pieces, not chocolatey. Even
need
I'm
more time,
falling into
Matt, I
it.
can't do
Round
this.
3, the famous Butterfinger bar. Chocolate or
Mocklet? I
mocklet?
don't-
The answer here, mocklet.
Alright,
now,
got that
gotta
one.
hand
That
it
was
to
all
them. They
ma- that's all
really
mine.
did what they could by crafting the phrase crispity, crunchity, peanut buttery bar covered in a rich chocolatey coating made
Goddamn.
with cocoa. Yeah, they used the word chocolatey, but they surrounded it with other cute words ending with Y, so they hit it really well. Plus, they even mention the cocoa, but unfortunately, they don't use enough cocoa to use the word chocolate. Butterfingers contain vegetable oil and less than 2% of cocoa.
than
Sorry to
2%.
lay that figure on your Butterfinger. Now, of course, plenty of popular products are still totally authentic according to the FDA guidelines. Do they taste better than their non-chocolate competitors? Ultimately, it's up for the individual consumer
I mean,
to
we
decide.
wait
But
for
for
that, I
all
guess.
of this chocolate versus non-chocolate talk, there is an upside here. There is
that?
one advantage to using less cacao that we
What?
haven't touched on
What is
yet,
it?
but one that we should probably consider given that it's the holidays and we should be thinking about those in need. For years, the chocolate industry has notoriously employed child labor. About
that's sad.
2/3 of the world's cocoa supply comes from West Africa, where, according to the 2015 U.S. Labor Department report, more than 2 million children were engaged in dangerous labor in cocoa growing regions. As a result, the odds are high that a chocolate bar bought in the United States is the product of child labor. Well, most of the world's biggest chocolate companies like Hershey's,
even know. We're
Mars,
just buying
Nestle,
these-
and more
I
have
need to
signed
pay
an
more attention,
agreement
man.
to reduce their reliance on child labor. It is still a problem, and it's a good reason that cutting back on genuine chocolate might not be the worst thing in the world. With a little research, it's easy to find which companies have signed the agreement and made positive strides and which haven't. A few notable brands that go the extra mile ethically are Tony's Chocolonely, Seed and Bean, and Ocelot Chocolate,
Pretty much
all
the-
of which
the
pledge
ones
to
that
know
I never
where their
eat.
chocolate is coming from and pay above fair trade prices for cacao beans. So the
ones
next
that are
time
doing
you end
good,
up trading
nobody
some
buys them.
mocklet coins after spinning the dreidel, or you find yourself reaching for a bowl of holiday treats around the Christmas tree, be ready to drop either of those fun facts. Hey, what you're eating is either not chocolate or
Child
it could
labor.
very well be the product of child labor.
I mean-
you're gonna be the hit of every holiday party. But hey,
that's just a theory, man.
just a theory.
A
A food
food
theory. Bon appetit. Here's another theory you should
Guys, alright. See, I mean, at least it gives you some like initiative to not eat chocolate. I mean, I'm probably still gonna eat chocolate. I love chocolate, but you know, at least you can think about what we're doing, because you know it could be child labor chocolate. It couldn't even be chocolate in the first place. But obviously that's for you to decide if you want to eat it. I mean, I'm not gonna stop you. But if you guys enjoyed the video, hit the like button, of course. Subscribe to the channel. Check out the original video, of course. And peace.